Okay, this is the question: how effective is the combination of my main product, the music video, and the auxiliary tasks, the advert for a magazine, and the CD cover? So how effective are they? You know, how as one kind of product, as something that is unified and synergized. So first we are gonna talk about the colours. I mean, for my work, it is very much based upon the artwork, and a lot of it is quite minimalist. So the colours are very important because they need to jump out at you a bit more. So we've kept it quite simple. We've used mainly blacks, whites, and reds, and these colours are throughout all of the pieces, so they all synergize. So you see this particular shade of red, which is a kind of darker shade, nearer the black end of the spectrum, and you see it and you think of the other reds. So it is predominant. There is red in the centre of the poster and on all the writing in the poster. There is also red in the logo that I made fit the Martin Grech, his name. Another reason why red, it stands out very well on the black. So you've got this vivid black, and still being minimalist or very sensible and formal type, it manages to jump out. The black makes the red jump out, and vice versa. So these two colours go very well together. Another thing is, it's very dark. I mean, not dark, but it's serious, and red and black are globally known as serious colours, as something that is warning signs for very serious matters, and also because it stands out. So they're the reasons for using this. If you look at the trees in the background of the first main scene of the video, a lot of colour has been taken out of that in Photoshop, and brought forward have been the oranges and the reds. Another thing that synergizes this together. The curtains are also red. There is a sunset at the back, the later end of the video, reds and oranges, and the inside of the box, which is once again placed within black, is red. Also another thing that appears on the CD cover, or the digipack cover, and the magazine advert, is the logo, the Martin Grech sound, and this will also be in the video somewhere. And it has a red ring around something blue, and this is unified across all of them. Is the London Underground logo, the universally known, recognised as something that is English. Martin Grech is English. He is not American. He is not, he's not Australian. He's not French. He's English. This reinforces this as a serious English musician writing about himself, once again, red, it is very vivid, it stands out. You see this logo and you're like, oh yeah, I recognise that, and your brain ticks, and you see this universally throughout all of it, and it makes you think Martin Grech. The colour red is this colour, this guy, it's him. Like, you think of Bumblebee, yellow and black. The aim here was to get people thinking Martin Grech, red on black. The next important thing is the imagery, the things that it symbolises and represents, and if it synergises from one product to another product from another product. So these products are not seen to be standing alone by themselves, but they are seen as a whole, as the Martin Grech collective. And you see this on, on things that bands do all of the time. For example, Thom Yorke's solo stuff. The main image for the album cover is one huge image. Each time a single, though, was released for this album, a segment of that image would be used for the cover work in the single. So it synergizes. It's all by this one person, this one band, and this is what I've tried to do. So the images, that focus heavily on trees and nature. This is showing something that is beautiful and natural, and this is in all of them. Main background, trees, poster, trees, album Trees. It is the most powerful one, I would say. The one that is most standing out is the one on the poster. It is on a vivid dark black. The black is good for everything because it makes everything stand out. Okay, so the black is used within the video, the black is used within the poster, and it is used within the album. And on this stands out this image, these trees looming forward at you, these beautiful force of nature, and this synergizes with the trees that you see on every panel of the Digipack. They're trees. This also synergizes with the round bit that goes on the CD or vinyl that goes into the Digipack trees. This imagery then fits in with the start of the video. There are trees, and there are trees in all of these, all all composed within the photographs and such to loom out to look beautiful, but yet dark and very, very striking. And the mirroring is in the Digipack and the poster. It is not used for the trees in the video, but that's because it is not appropriate there. It would not add anything in the video. The trees in the video, there is already a beautiful symmetry in how the lens curve does to the trees, and they loom over and loom to the sides, and it is symmetry. Symmetry is very important in all of this. And this is used in bands from Radiohead and Band of Horses, both use mirroring in album covers and posters and such. But this synergizes from the poster to the Digipack cover. So you've got these trees, and they're in all of them. These are the two things that are out there that aren't going to be looked at digitally as much. These are solid things you have in your hand, and the mirroring adds to these because it draws you in. So you have these almost like a circle, and it draws you into the center of the image because it is now universal all around it, and it is symmetrical, and it gives you these wonderful patterns that are more that draw the eyes in more than if they were not there. And this is what these things are doing. They're trying to draw you in. So you look and you're like, is that a reflection? Is that mirrored or not? And you look closer, and you start looking into the shapes that are made in the trees. And all this is very, very important when looking at the imagery. So it synergizes in that way. Also, black and white images on the CD, Digipack, vinyl cover, and many black and white drawings and images for the music video. The poster is not, but it does carry through reds and blacks and other things from the other two parts of the product. Another thing that is used in these combined products that is synergized within all of them is the font. The font of the main logo, I wanted to keep it very very smart and formal. So for this, I use the simple Times New Roman. It gives it a lovely sharp and crisp look, which helps the font, and it helps it to stand out even on these very sharp, crisp trees. And to do that, this is all synergized, and it works together, and it works well. I chose to have the M and the N at the start and beginning of Martin slightly bigger, and this basically stops from, when you see the Martin Gregg, it stops it from just being that, and it stops it from just being these pieces of writing and makes it into more of a logo. And you also see the white lines in all of these, and this logo is, this is seen throughout all three products, and it just it's a stamp, a seal of approval, so it is always done by this guy, and they are always in the same colour. And every band has its logo, the Beatles, Radiohead, and it's always if not the same font, the same colour, something, and it synergizes and it works together. And this is why it is this font is slightly more stylized than the rest of the writing, because it is not just a bit of writing, it is a universal logo now for this person. The rest of it, the writing, is just normal New Times. I made the decision to do it all in caps, just to make it stand out. And that for Radiohead is, it's done. The Radiohead logo writing font is all in caps, and even the smaller writing is still in caps because it just synergizes. Even like in that product, it works together within the singular one, and then across the scale of all of them works together. The only exception in the font is Illum, and that I used the Sonar Bangle font for most of the letters, and I decided to, and the Sakal Majala for the U, and for the letter U, and for the letter M, and just those two, and the other font for the other two. And this is because the writing is going down and it has to be symmetrical on each side. So the middle of the M, the L's and the I. And for the New Times numerals, although the letters would all be straight underneath each other and in the same size, but where your mind instantly thinks the centre of one letter is, will be off to the L, the stick in the L you want in the middle so it lines up with the I. But because that is not the actual centre of the letter, it will be off to the left of where the I is, and it just didn't look right, and for that reason I had to modify and change the font for those letters. But they are still in keeping with all the other fonts. They're still very formal and very, very serious, and that's on the album cover and on the poster and in the video. On the poster there is some smaller writing down the bottom just explaining what is available on, and this it makes a formal shape, and shapes are good, and shapes are in all of the photography. In the trees there is these shapes, these looming shapes, very triangular and stuff, and that is the same here. This comes down in a triangle like this, a pyramid shape. This is in the New Times, the Roman New Times font, and this is a little less stylistic, and it's more grammatically correct, so only capitals when it needs to be, and it highlights in bigger writing famous tracks, and that is in bold. So Open Heart Zoo did very well, it was on adverts, people know about that track, that's in bold, and so as the platforms it's being released on. And the soundtrack is slightly better than the available and the on, and that is, that is just for the poster, it's like that, but still keeping, the font is still serious and the same, which synergizes and brings them all together to form one universal product. Okay, another thing that, that is, combined in all of them is the message. The message is quite straightforward. It is a message of, it is a shared message between the one that is in the song and the one that I've wanted to communicate through these tasks. And obviously that is, Illum is the name of the song and the name of the album, which means light. It's meant to be uplifting, and when I think of light I think of, I think of nature and godlike things and stuff like that, earth, the sun, the universe, light, forests, trees, beautiful things. And so I've tried to get this idea of Illum through these things, not literally, because these things aren't light, and I experimented with ideas of using candles and the imagery to literally show this light effect, and to me it just didn't work, it didn't look good, so I changed it, and it looks very dark to you, but it's not, because it can be uplifting if you think of it in the right mindset. And I have, I've used things here that have been like the inside panels of the album cover. It's quite dark on the outside, you open it up and you have glaring at you, these bright white things that reflect light, that reflect this snow. On the front cover it has these trees and it's quite dark, but the light is seeping through in shapes and in symmetry, and you know, it seeps through in these magical and beautiful ways. And the same with the very back cover. It's very dark, but this light, this illumination is just about seeping through. This is in synergy with the whole video. Obviously, is, you know, it's on dark, but you have these bright, beautiful trees, and you have this amazing, bright sunset at the end, which, you know, is uplifting, and it gives you this sense of light. The poster is very dark, but on it are these colours, these bright, vivid colours, which keep with this kind of this illumination thing, and they are, you know, these are very vivid colours. They're not, I mean, they're subtle, but they're almost like glow in the dark, like UV. So it's got a very kind of UV in your face, green, blue and red. And although on the outside they may not look like it straight away, if you think about all these things, you know, these all synergize, these all go together, and they all combine to make this kind of overall showing of this idea, this illumination idea.